D'Lo did the thing that I think every Laker fan was most worried about. I think we knew LeBron would show up. Honestly, if we're being perfectly, transparent in all this, I wasn't even really worried about AD showing up. Like, he's had such a good season, and he was great.
The only player
he was great.
that I walked away. And I know LeBron had a pretty good night as well, but I could poke some stuff into LeBron. I couldn't poke a hole in AD.
No, LeBron had 7 turnovers, but LeBron was much more good than he wasn't, right? Like, if you got that from him night after night, you'd probably live with it. AD was great. The question was always coming into the series. The question was last year when they played the Nuggets that he got benched to the point where he was unplayable was, what is D'Angelo Russell going to look like? Is he going to look like the guy that was in the Lakers starting line virtually the entire year? And oh, by the way, terrific. Probably got himself a long-term contract, if not with the Lakers, somewhere else, and maybe with the Lakers. Or is it going to be the guy that throughout his career in the NBA has been a substandard playoff performer? Well, we got the answer. He was a substandard playoff performer on Saturday. All the old questions came back. Darvin talking about, hey, he missed some shots. We had some good looks, but we're right back when you and I talked on Friday. How long can you get that performance before you realize I can't use that performance? I have to try something else.
So it's impossible to not walk into this series with that being one of the main question marks, right? That's of course that's a conversation because it was D'Lo versus Denver last year that averaged 6 points in the playoffs, something like that. It's not the same D'Lo. If I told you this, if I said, here are D'Lo's stats, I'm not going to tell you how many shots he made, but I'm just going to tell you the stats. You didn't watch the game, and I told you that D'Angelo Russell took 9 3-pointers. Mm-hmm. I would think, and I told you that he took 20 shots.
Yeah.
I would think that
he was on fire.
Oh, D'Lo must have been having a game.
Right.
And listen, this is what I would think. I would think to myself, if D'Lo's taking 9 threes and he's taking 20 jumpers total, then, all right, D'Angelo Russell must have had a game. And then you look at the details. He went 1 of 9 from 3. He went 6 of 20. I like that D'Angelo Russell was aggressive. I like that D'Angelo Russell understands he's got to hit jumpers if the Lakers are going to win the series. Can't go 1 for 9. You can't go 6 for 20. I mean, if we're putting this much stake on D'Angelo Russell and in game 1 he's 1 for 9 and 6 of 20, and he said something post-game show, and here's how he can shut me up and a lot of other Laker fans. He said something post-game that he's excited. He's excited because he got so many good looks that he's going to hit him in game 2. Okay, I'm with you on that.
It's not unreasonable.
I was going to say, I'm with you on that.
I'm all right with that.
There is just
but he's got to hit him.
There's just no world that the Lakers are hanging in a game against Denver where he takes more shots than LeBron James and he only hits 6 of them, goes 6 of 20.
So I'm with you. There are certain guys that if they're just missing shots, I don't care how many shots they take. If Luka misses 30 shots in a row, keep firing. If Steph misses 30 in a row, keep firing. Mm-hmm. There are guys just keep shooting. I don't care. They're going to start
average itself out.
They're going to start going in. You're our best player. You're our shot. Keep going. And if at the end of the night you're 4 for 28, you're 4, whatever. What are you going to do? D'Angelo Russell's not one of those guys. AD was having a good game. LeBron was having a good game. There are other options, and look, D'Angelo didn't get the ball in the basket. I'll give him a little bit of grace, and sometimes the shots don't go down.
I agree.
I agree. I thought that the vast majority of his shots were actually pretty good shots. They just didn't go in. But he doesn't have a perpetual green light the way that the other guys do. That somebody, I don't know, let me just throw something at the wall. Maybe the head coach does something along the lines, listen, man, it's not falling for you tonight. We're going to have to go to plan B. He's not Steph Curry. He's not Luka. You don't get to just keep firing. You're not one of those guys. And if he's going to keep firing, I got to make something else happen. And neither of those two things happened. The ball didn't go in. He kept shooting, and nobody did anything about it. That's just it's a recipe for exactly what happened. To lose again, have us right back here going into game 2 tonight with how long do you let him do it again? Let's say as the first quarter tonight. Ball's not going in. We going to roll it? Okay, ball didn't go in the second quarter either. We going to roll it? You're now a half away from being down 2-0. They're not going to beat the Nuggets 4 out of 5. I don't think they're going to beat the Nuggets 4 out of 6. They're in deep, 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 deep trouble tonight, right? If they don't win this game. Mm-hmm. Deep trouble. If it's not happening, it's not happening.
I think I have it.
How long do you go?
I think I have it. And listen, I'm going to give D'Lo the benefit of doubt of this because he has been great for most of the season. About 3 months he's been playing really good basketball, and I think he's a big difference of why the Lakers were able to kind of turn the season around. They ended up 12 games over 500. There was a time where I'm like, that will never happen. I think you have the first half if you're D'Angelo Russell. I'm talking about if I'm Darvin Ham and I'm running the Los Angeles Lakers. He doesn't have the green light for 48 minutes. He has a green light for 24 minutes. And we could do this coming back, but you can't dig yourself a hole down 0-2 because D'Angelo Russell shot you out of the first 2 games.
When is Darvin Ham going to do the thing that Michael Malone does and that the good coaches do, which is, you know what, we're a little disorganized, we're a little out of sorts, that we're not playing great right now. Let's stop this. Let's reset. Let's come out. Let's run a couple of crisp, clean, effective plays. Maybe the ball goes in, maybe it doesn't. But we're gonna run something here. Looks like the Nuggets have a plan. It looks like the Lakers are just hoping that it breaks their way. Is that too much of an oversimplification? They never look like they have a plan.
It's my biggest criticism watching the game on Saturday. Not that it was a shock or a surprise, but it was incredibly frustrating. When the Nuggets need a basket, a couple things are happening. Either they're calling the timeout, they're saying, everybody just calm down here for a quick second, or Michael Malone is yelling at Jamal Murray and saying, this is the set we are running, and Jamal Murray walks the ball up the floor, barely gets past half court, everything is precise, and whatever they play, Jokic is coming, Michael Porter's in motion, whatever they're doing, everybody's on the same page. And they do that when they need it most. I think there's what you don't want to do, you want a free flow as best as you can, and sometimes less thinking is better. But there's going to be moments during a game where it's like, guys, we got to get a basket right now just to kind of slow things down. Or this bucket that goes in, now Denver's got to call timeout because it's such a critical stage. Damn, are the Lakers just running around? And I think what you just said is they're hoping for something to go good rather than we are in control of what happens in this possession. The shot might not go in, but we're going to get the shot that we're looking for. That was arguably the most frustrating thing watching the game on Saturday. Michael Malone's got his team organized. I don't feel like Darvin Ham has the Lakers organized.
There's just so few areas where the Lakers have an advantage. And maybe the answer may be they might not have any advantage. The advantage may be they're a little more experienced because LeBron has been doing this forever. Maybe that's the one advantage they have, but this guy's on the other side. They just went through it last year, so they know it. The best player on the floor is on the other team. He's going to win the MVP again for the 3rd time, okay? The second best player on the floor might be on the other team too, okay? That's a problem. The depth, them. Home court, them. The coach, them. Like you're trying to win one of these head-to-head things and hope, okay, hey, maybe we've got the better coach and he can just find a scheme to do this, or we've got the best player. Like this is a one-off and the guy's just going to kill him by himself all night long, every night, the way that LeBron James might have been able to do 10 years ago, 5 years ago. He's just not that guy anymore. Where is their advantage? And it just, when you see the disadvantages and they're even getting more open, like we're talking about with the coach, like we're talking about with D'Angelo, unfortunately having a bad night, not being able to knock down his shots, your hands just go be like, there is no solution to this problem if those gaps get wider because you're already behind.
Yeah, and I know this is something that you've emphasized, but damn does it become glaring when you start slowing the game down in the playoffs, right? Doesn't it become more and more glaring? Look, 82 game set, things are going to happen.
And we got another one tomorrow night in another city against another team.
Well, you got another one coming up tomorrow. Yeah, you're right.
Against a different team. We're going to play it slightly differently.
Different team, plus it could be you went from playing a good team to a really bad team, but you beat the bad team, so everything looks okay because you got that one W. I'll go back to this, and we were starting to talk a little bit about D'Angelo, and here's where Darvin Ham doesn't have – he's got control to an extent in this game. Darvin Ham can't hit a wide-open jumper and hope it goes in for D'Angelo Russell. Either D'Lo's going to hit that or he's not. And I think we both agree that, you know, they say, what's the saying in a 7-game set? A series doesn't start until the road
somebody
team
wins
gets
on the
a win.
road. Yeah.
That is not the case in this series. It's not. It's not. And I'll tell you why. Because I think we both agree that these first 2 games, if there's somebody out there who was making predictions before the series started, and they said Lakers in 6 or 7 or whatever the case is, it all comes down to this game. You said it earlier, you're not beating the Lakers or you're not beating the Nuggets 4 out of 5 games. Darvin Ham has to coach this game in complete desperation.
Yeah,
I
agree.
I don't like the it's only game 2. I was trying to tell Michael this on Saturday. I was like, Michael, they can't lose the first 2 games. He's like, well, what if the Lakers win the next 2 at Crypto? Okay, I get that. I understand technically they can do that. I don't have confidence if it's now, what would it be now, 10 games in a row that they've lost and whatever the case is. He's got to coach tonight in desperation. And if D'Angelo Russell, this is going to kind of lead me to the D'Lo point. If D'Lo, listen, do I think D'Lo's going to have as bad of a game as he did on Saturday? I don't.
I don't either.
And frankly, I think you and I both agree with this too. It's not like I felt like D'Lo was taking shots. I'm like, D'Lo, what are you doing?
There's only a couple of shots that were like, those weren't great. Okay, but they were, of this 20 shots, I think 17 of them were probably pretty good shots.
For the most part, I thought D'Lo was taking good shots.
Yeah, I agree.
Here's what Darvin Ham's going to be in the position of. If the first 24 minutes go by and the Lakers are down 6 at Denver and D'Lo is still struggling, you're in complete desperation mode. Let me see Gabe Vincent.
Yeah.
Let me see Spencer Dinwiddie. Let me see some of these other guys.
Well, I know how that other movie ends. I just know what it is.
And if you're giving him a game and a half in a 7-game set where you already don't have any margin for error, and I'm not saying it's the last time you're going to see D'Lo. I'm just saying I got to try to see if something else works.
You're not giving him a game and a half. You've given him 5.5.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's not, and I get it. This year, D'Angelo had arguably the best year of his career. I get it, and he's been good. And not to heap all of this on him, but that's kind of where this series is going to turn, if it's going to turn at all. Because I guess if you're trying to find a reason that the Lakers could win tonight, other than just, hey, look, D'Lo's got to shoot a lot better. LeBron could go for 40. Don't the laws of probability tell you that they have to win at some point? Just somebody, if you play 10 times, I'm going to win 1 or 2.
Sure.
Right? I mean, it's just, even if you're a lot better than me, the Lakers are an NBA team. They got really good players. They're not going to beat me 10 in a row, are they? Well, probably not, but here we are. It's been 9. And none of them have been super close. None of them have been embarrassingly lopsided the other way either. But at some point, like, the law of probability should just tell you. And that's why I think I have to mix it up. That if you get to the halfway point of tonight and D'Lo's struggling again,
I hope he's not.
I hope not too. But I can't just.
That could happen.
I know how this ends. If I do A, then B happens. Well, A is let D'Angelo keep going. B is we lose. Right? I have to take A off. I'm putting C in the game, and I don't know. Maybe it probably won't be, but let's see. Mm-hmm. You have to throw all of your blank at the wall and see what comes out.
It might be the only series in the entire NBA where there's a game 2 desperation game. But I think most of that has to do with just this is how good Denver is.
It does, but I think it's probably heightened in this series, but I don't think it's that much. Look, if you're down 2-0 after the first 2 games and you got to win 4, beating a playoff team 4 out of 5 times is, of course, incredibly difficult.
But also, what's the saying? The series doesn't start until someone loses at home.
I don't. But yes, that's the saying. I don't think in any of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, let me give you an example.
If Minnesota wins their game 2, or do you feel like the Suns are still in it? I don't.
Well, let me give you an example. Would you be shocked if Phoenix played 2 really good home games against Minnesota? I think where it's different for the Lakers, Denver's beating the Lakers everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not like this is, well, they lose every time Lakers are at home. That hasn't been the case.